I am not a financial advisor. These videos are all meant for educational purposes only. All complete Trader Academy videos are my personal opinion and perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, and all results are your own responsibility. Please always demo first. Hey everybody, welcome back to CT Review. Today is December 2nd, Monday, 2024. Hope you had a good month, good holiday, and all that shit. So let's jump into it. Trying to get back into the swing of things. So remember, let's go back to this video on the 5th. This video was made about a month ago. We were talking about pushing up, retracing back. Here you can see that we came into those gaps here, a little bit lower, and then pushed off. Now this buy I was mentioning between the 18th and the 22nd. So sure enough, that's what we got. But they did it on their terms, right? Obviously, and it's not as pretty as I would have liked it to be, but in the sense, it still turned out. Looks good, right? You see that? So here you can see the body. Look at the body still sitting in that area. Take a look at this video. Again, this is made on the 5th. So a lot of people on the internet beating their chest right now, talking about look at me, and I'm not doing that. But at the same time, you can see that this is made over a month ago. So I promise you, no one's doing that. But in the sense, is the logic is to push up, squeeze to the left of liquidity, pull back down, wipe out buyers. So this night, the 5th, I made this video, was the next day was the elections, right? So the USA elections. So as you take a look here, that's right here, right? See this? So this wasn't even made yet, any of this right here. So we pushed up, we came back, right? And then take a look. And if you watch that video or the videos leading up, I've been talking about us getting up here and then using this as an inversion, right? You see this weekly, and if you refine it to the daily, you see that. I'm going to do that for you now, just so we could understand each other. And then once you see this, you can see it dragged out. You could totally tell that that's obviously being respected all the way to down to the last candle, right? See that? So as you can see, let me just make this into a bearish. Whoops, where'd you go? So as you see here, you'll see that we're using that. We coming up, and I mentioned that in that video talking about us using it as support. See that? So we came in beautifully. And what's coupled with that? Well, we had that November 6th elections actual imbalance right there, right? So if I delete that, take a look at that. Let me delete that for a second. But actually, before I do, you can see on the 4 hour that we're encompassed inside it, right? That's the 18th to the 22nd buying. Then they pushed up and retraced back down into it. I'm going to delete it now because it's too much mess. And then I think I stopped making videos somewhere here. Yeah, Tuesday. Wasn't it last Tuesday? Yeah. So what did we do? Well, we failed. We pushed back. If you recall watching the videos, I was saying that I wanted that something like this was very possible, where we had these higher highs and higher lows, and then we raid liquidity. Well, they didn't come deep, but they did raid liquidity. They came to the previous 3 days at the time, which is this Tuesday when we shot down. We came for that. But look, take a look at that bearish imbalance that we were sitting in right here, which is going to be the November 15th on Friday. So if you take a look, you tell that we're pretty much respecting it here. Not pretty or anything, but you could see, this is just a 4 hour, but you can see that we're kind of like rejecting there, and we're sitting on the gaps. Now I said very clear on the post, on the community tab or whatever, that we need to get above these gaps here, and we did. We gapped up. That's what we did on Monday. Did I even make a video on Monday? Yeah, I think I did. I can't remember. Anyways, but I said we gap up. We did. We came back. And then look at the body sitting there. Then we pushed up, and then we came back below it. Yes, right. And pretty much just trying to get this liquidity. They weren't interested in anything lower. And then I was going to say something else. Oh, and then this was also a nice inversion as well. I should probably copy this. Let me just copy this, and you'll see. So again, I talk about this all the time. Treat it like a 1 minute chart. Right? Like there would be no difference in from the daily. It's all fractal, right? But take a look here. As you can see, when we were sitting down here, we were also, look at the tagging at 50%, sitting on those gaps here, and so on, right? So beautiful. But remember, the logic is that I was saying let's come up and then use this area as an inversion. Now, I mean, I can highlight well, I ain't gonna do all that, but the daily was refined, but the weekly right there is what I was talking about, pretty much, right? So then what do? Well, they play around here, and then they make Tuesday the low of the week, or Wednesday, I'm sorry, the low of the week of the previous week. And then what do? They saved it. They don't take out that liquidity yet. They saved it. They opened up on Monday. This was very suspect. We were sitting on top of this inversion. See that? This is from November 15th. So that's dragged out. You can see that we're using the bodies. That's very suspect. They didn't come back and seal that imbalance right there, and they dangled this carrot. This is literally a dangled carrot right here. So a little tough for anybody trying to reach that level there, but you have that imbalance. But they kept the bodies here, and it's sitting on that bearish imbalance. And what do they do? 9 o'clock just shot up. What are they doing? Obviously, they're shooting up for the previous liquidity above, and you can see we ran right to the gap. So as you see, this is not hindsight. This is just algorithmic. So we got gap here, gaps here to this gaps, right? So pretty clean, pretty smooth, but again, not on our time frame, not like what you would like it to be, right? So, but anyways, this is accomplished. I mean, so where do we go from here? Now it's December. We got the last of the fourth quarter and our Santa rally, but this is going to get tricky because here we can see something like this where we get 3 drives up. We make our all-time high, right? But we get 3 drives and then we dip down. So let me draw it now so I know I've done it, right? Hold on one second and you'll see that we come up. So I'm expecting something like in this nature, right? You know, whatever, however they end up doing this. And then towards, and then we start reaching down and retracing. I mean, in general speaking, somewhere in the middle of the month, and then we do that little Santa rally for the last, 15 days or whatever, right? And then shoot off, right? So I'm expecting something like this to occur, assuming that we don't shit the bed, where we just, and it turns into like the 5-year data, and we literally just, keep coming down, and we we even wipe out this liquidity here. So from the interim, let me see here. So you see well, there's so much to talk about at the same time, but I wanted to go over last week's, but this is going to be a long video if I do it. Let me see if I can let me go to a 5-minute here. And then let me see if I could do this, make this simple. So I'll back out from the month, from the week, that was right here. So you can see we gapped up here, we retraced, we had 3 drives down, we pull up, and we're then sweep that liquidity there, right? That's the previous week's low. And then Wednesday shoots up, speakers out right there, see that? Comes into that gap that we had, there was a gap right there. So from this Wednesday to Thursday, we had that gap right there, and there's literally no price action offered to the sell side of it. It's literally just pushed up. So nice little trick right there that they did. And then today we did not come to the 50% of the previous day, which would have been Friday. So we didn't. So they dangled that. Like look at those equal lows right there. That's some nice liquidity, but that's tough. So the reason why I'm saying all this is so you can understand, like, okay, well, we expect that the rest of the month where we were supposed to be getting really bullish. So this is how they did it. Well, they sat on top of that bearish imbalance, which is right there, highlighted. And then they dangled the carrot of coming into these gaps. Well, and I remember I mentioned we need to go above these gaps if we're going to be bullish. Sure enough, it's not like we stalled here and started making like lower lows. So very clear. But the understanding is that the higher time frame is really in control of the fourth quarter and the historical data, right? But anyways, speakered out there, came to it. They dangled that carrot there. And where's the signs of a very bullish day today? Well, here, when you see this consolidation, And if you had this on your chart, you would understand that you were sitting on top of that. Plus these lows, they technically did mitigate this push out traders here. And let me change this back. Let me change this to a 15-minute. And then you'll see that this price action right here. See this price action right here? See how we come above it and then we start kind of making higher lows here and support? Well, they're using this previous data right here. And sure enough, that held. So this was a support area right here. So they weren't looking down here, right? So that's sign number one. Number two, with the bearish imbalance. Number three, as you see, this is just consolidating sideways, and then we're pushing up here. You start to see the momentum, and you understand that it's not going to pull down here. It's very bullish. It's just going to be a push off day. And sure enough, what are they doing? At the end of the day, they're just rushing for that liquidity to the left of the chart. So let me fix this back, and then if you understood that, you don't want to fight it. It's just going to keep going, right? So these are birdie days. We call them floaters. So birdie days, you're not looking to try to catch tops or anything like that. So as you can see here, let me go back to maybe a 1 minute here. Maybe I can make this fast. You'll see here, and then if you're wondering how could I have been involved here if you weren't involved any earlier? Well, you can see the opening gap right here. See the today's gap. See how we come above it and use it as support. That right there is giving you the flow, order flow. So from here, you're gonna see that we come right back into this imbalance right here. I don't have it highlighted, which I'll do it now. But there's also a gap right there. And let me just do this real quick. And then you'll see that there's see the gap right here between 858 and 859. You see how this tags in it right here, this 925, that creates an inversion as well. Then we push up. Now we're sitting above it. So we push above it, and then they wick down inside it, and it's boom. It's being held. So that was the writings on the wall. So if you don't see that, there's momentum traders pushing, having stop orders, buy stops here. And then if that didn't work out for you, you also can see on the 15-minute when you got when you have a floater day, again, you're not trying to catch these tops. You're trying to, every pullback is a blessing. You want to catch those, and you want to see, obviously, the target where we have above is that next gap. But you can see on the 15-minute was very clean. The 945, you can see we dip right into it beautifully. And that's this one, the lower one right here. Now, the one above it was this 1 minute. And over here, if you're seeing this flow, okay, it's a bearish imbalance, right? Holds. Another bearish imbalance. Let me zoom in a little bit. You can see here we come underneath it. Okay, fine. Look at the bodies here, respecting. And you're going to say, well, it came underneath that. That should turn into an inversion and sell off. But take a look. So at the moment, you don't have you don't have a distinct bias until you have to understand that this 15-minute, let me change the color. Let me just change the color so I know let me just do it dark. All right. So you see this? So this is the last line of defense technically in this scenario. But look, see how the bodies come into the 15-minute, but they're also still respecting that 1 minute. Look how we come above it. So it's not like we came underneath it and then we tagged it here, this 1059. It's not like we came underneath and then we went lower. See how this 11 o'clock, we come higher. So we come higher, we come back down on top of that imbalance, and look at the bot. Right there is telling you the bodies is still pushing up right there. So then we come above, bearish imbalances turn into inversion. You can see that beautifully right there. And then it's just gone, right? So that pretty much explains what's going on. And then you can see we had a nice divergence. This is a 1 hour I'm looking at. So you had a divergence here already on S&P, and that was a higher low, and then that was framing us pushing up as well. You can see that when Dow is pushing down at 9 o'clock, that's what you want to see if you're bullish. So sure enough, that was also the final piece. And if I was to then do this, you'll see that we have a where were we? Well, there's another divergence right there as a confirmation. It's behind it. You can see that, right? Let me just move this. You see that? That's from yesterday. Oh, that's from Friday. But today, you'll see that we had higher lows here with Nas, and then lower lows here. So that was just framing us pushing up. And let me see, dollar real quick is just still kind of messing around, kind of broke structure a little bit, but we'll see. Rejected that area. We'll see what they do, but I would assume that they're coming down, and then that would kind of push us up for a little bit more. Looking at Dow here, you can see using this from the body of the bullish to the body here, you can see retracing back to the 61. I've already mentioned us buying from here. Sure enough, we took off. We made all new highs. And now I'm expecting Nas to do something like this. I'm expecting the 3 drive scenario, and then I think they're going to crack. We'll generally pull back, maybe like after the first week of December, maybe possibly going into the second week, obviously. And sure enough, just gorgeous there. And let me go to S&P. Why is S&P on the wrong? Excuse me. All right, so you can see S&P still floating up, and then as you can see up here, that I've been had this for a while here. I'm expecting to get a little bit more closer. We're talking about getting to the 6100 mark, and then probably turning around, and just for the end of the year, and then a pullback, and then we'll see what happens next year. But I said it was bullish, y'all. So what else? Nvidia, I see that little crack right here, and then retracing back. Now, what do we do from here? Do we use this imbalance, this 8 o'clock? Do we use this bearish imbalance as support or resistance? That will kind of give us some direction and more understanding. But man, like I told you, man, like everybody beating their chest about, oh, it's going up, calling, pushing up. I mean, they're literally calling buying from right here to say that it's coming up here and here. It's like, bruh, obviously it's fucking already up here. But this is clearly not hindsight. So let me see. I'm talking too much. 17 minutes. I like that. Now, do we pull back here to this area from this breakout level? And we have that gap on the weekly. So this gap has never been. I'm gonna actually kind of delete this now, but you can see that body sitting on top of there. But we don't have. It's gonna be tricky. Just non-farm. Get your trading in today, tomorrow, and then it'll be a little fickle on Wednesday. But we'll see what they do. But so far, we're still looking for some drives up. So especially with this 4 hour, I want to see. Again, I want to see something like this, but it's gonna get a little tricky. So I do like them coming back to this previous week high. I do. I mean, because it's super obvious breakthrough level. Let me see here. Yeah, I mean, it's like super empty here. So maybe Asia and London push it down, and then we'll continue back up. But again, not so interested in the market, to be honest. I still have a lot of things going on personally, and but I feel like I'm missing something. I know I'm missing something here. Just real proud of myself. Look at that, man. But and then if you were watching the videos, I was mentioning us doing something like this where we would have then pushed up, came back, remember? And then I said I'll continue. Well, look how they did it. They did. That's what I was talking about. If you recall, the push up, retrace back. So this is how they did it, right here. And it was during the holiday. So, swept and then pushed up. But beautiful, man. But we're getting to a top here. Not top, but I mean we need to fan out and probably get above this high. That's going to be the question here. I'm assuming just they're going to do that. I'm just assuming. So I'm pretty confident in that. So, but it's gonna fan out and turn into a speaker here, and then we should see like what I've just what I drew earlier, right? I'm not missing anything here. Right? I talked all about this. I talked about that. That was super game. You guys take care and God bless.